Are you going to interview me?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you questions.
Okay.
But just look at me here.
Okay.
Say and spell your first and last name.
Nick van der Leek, N-I-C-K, and then 3 words, V-A-N-D-E-R-L-E-E-K. She's laughing.
And Nick, why are you out here today and every day that you've been coming?
I've been covering high-profile true crime cases for about a decade. It started with the Oscar Pistorius case. I actually knew the victim in that case. I have studied law. That case sort of introduced me to the whole true crime genre. And so I've been covering I've written dozens of books on true crime. I went from a South African high-profile case, probably our highest case, the Oscar Pistorius case, to Jodi Arias, Amanda Knox, all these sort of high-profile cases, John Benet Ramsey, Madeleine McCann, and then the more current cases, Chris Watts, the Idaho student murders, Gabby Petito,
Lori Vallow.
And Lori Vallow, yeah.
So you kind of planned your trip to coincide with the trial.
Yeah, I wanted to come to America actually when COVID happened, and so that didn't happen. And then I was like, this year I'm definitely going to make it happen in summer. And then, I actually wanted to come around about this time, closer to the midsummer. And so I was going to come in May, and when I saw that the trial was scheduled for early April, I was like, well, I might as well be here for that. In other words, make it one of the stops on the road. And there are currently 3 pretty high-profile cases in Idaho or the Idaho area, so it kind of made sense. Also, my former co-author is based in California, which is right next door as well. And I have already seen her, and I'll probably go back to, say hi.
So what have you thought of the trial so far?
I think the prosecution's got a very detailed case. It's a very detailed and meticulous investigation. I think some of the strongest moments have been from the Colby call, which ironically involved very, very little actual testimony. It's basically, hi, my name's Colby, and then the call. And then also, I think the strongest moment was actually Summer's testimony, well, Summer's call as well. So ironically, both family members, both doing negligible amounts of actual testimony, answering questions, and then very, very emotional phone calls, accusatory, indignant, heart-rending. But I think that's the kind of thing that this trial in a way has been missing. There's been a lot of dry, factual presenting of evidence, and even Lori's sort of smiling at the end of each day, whatever. But what's been needed is the true catastrophe of this case. I really feel like of all the cases I've dealt with the West Memphis 3, the Chris Watts family annihilation, this case is really, I think, one of the most catastrophic cases that I've dealt with. You also don't just have one perpetrator, you have someone who's potentially involved at least 1 or 2 other people, which also then destroys another life and another life.
So what did you think of the jury's reaction to the autopsy photos today?
I noticed the juror on the far right-hand side, closest to us, he seemed to be unsettled. He seemed quite shocked. Some of us have seen autopsy photos before. If you haven't, it can definitely be unsettling. He seemed emotional. He seemed troubled. Obviously you would be, but you could really see it on his face. There's also another juror behind him, sort of in the middle. She was seemed to be commenting to the man next to her, who was very sort of blank, looking blankly at the screen, and she seemed to wipe away a tear a couple of times under her glasses. You could see it was a grim, grave moment. It was weird how we couldn't see anything, so we were watching the jury, and you could read it on their faces.
Yeah. All right. Well, give everybody the name of your podcast again.
So please follow my channel on YouTube,
yeah.
True Crime Rocket Science. On Twitter, I'm at Crime Rocket, tweeting under the hashtag Lori Vallow Trial.
All right, good to